Meet the team that doesn't just talk about impact, they ignite it. Jim Morris and producer Rachel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. How we living? We living, producer Rachel?
We're alive.
Now it's time to thrive.
Where we're at. Exactly. Now it's time to thrive. It's that middle of the week. Like, what just happened? How are we here right now? And it's almost May feeling.
I was going to say 4:30, last day of April.
Oh my God. It's crazy. Truly, honestly crazy that like, I just feel like even my kids are noticing it. Like, is life flying by? I'm like, I don't know anymore. I don't understand time. I don't get it. I have no concept. How are you doing?
Things are wonderful. I was thinking back this morning before we jumped on the show and was just kind of recapping April and thinking about energy gains and drains. And I think maybe we just chat about something that happened in the past month, something profound that has helped us with our energy. Does that sound good?
Let's do it. Hell yeah, let's do it.
So one of the things in April to increase my energy that I focused on, and I think we talked about it maybe once or twice, but this was kind of my recap of the month, the thing that affected me so much in a positive way. At the beginning of the month, I was really thinking about conversations with folks, right? As you can, obviously hear in my voice, and if you've been on the show or heard the show or whatnot, deep human connection is my thing, right? I love it. I love the interaction. I'm an extrovert. So one of the things that has always come up for me over time has been really, as an extrovert, as someone who loves connecting, to really try to force some relationships in some instances, right? And when I say force, I don't want you to go to the imaginable, forcing this thing to happen and pushing it through, but more so, a lot of conversations aren't really the type of conversations I want to have. So what does that actually mean?
I was going to say, what do you mean? Okay, very intriguing.
So you and I are just met at an event. We just met in the grocery store, right? We talk about meeting connections and building deep human connection anywhere we are. Say we just met and we strike up a conversation. We're at an event and you want to talk about sports. And I'm at the event to talk about something deeper, to make, deep human connection, to understand you. What's your dreams? Who do you admire? Where are you going in life? What's the purpose of who you're trying to become? And who are you today, right? We've got all these deep questions that I would like
very deep questions for the grocery store, Jim. I'm just saying. I'd be like, bro, okay.
Which is my whole point of what I'm about to say, right? And my recap for April. If I want to have deep questions and I want to vibrate at a high level and I want to receive energy, but also give it and dive into it and flow back and forth, then I need to walk away from the conversation around sports. I need to walk away from the conversation around what happened on the news yesterday. I need to walk away from the conversation around political views or Trump, because at the end of the day, those things don't serve me and they don't serve my energy. But here's the thing that I learned in April. And this is the reason why I wanted to recap this specific thing and really just start to share and analyze at a deeper level. So whenever I've walked away from someone in mid-conversation even, or it's a one-on-one and it's just not my convo, it's not my vibe, I've really tried to protect my energy. And when you do that, and for me at least, I've always felt guilt, right? Like, oh, that was rude, or I'm not interested. Let's play nice, or let's people please. But when I really thought about it over the course of the month, the reality is that that's my energy and my time. And it's only up to me and will ever only be up to me to protect it. So it's not actually rude, because what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to engage in a conversation I have no interest in. I can't contribute really to that conversation because I don't watch the news. I don't really want to talk about what's on the news. I don't really support mainstream media, right? So I'm not doing justice to myself for energy, and I'm not doing justice to the person who's looking to receive energy by having dialogue and back and forth conversation.
So here's my
have-
okay, go ahead. Keep going because I have so many questions for you.
I can't have guilt in that, because if I have guilt, I wouldn't be able to serve that person on what they need, and I'm not going to be able to receive what they're trying to give me because I just don't align. And to protect my level of alignment means to protect my energy. So that's kind of what I just wanted to recap, and what I've realized over the month of how important that is when it comes to rise and energize and understand.
So I feel that on a multitude of levels. Number one, how do you neatly get out of a conversation, just on like our base level conversation about this topic, is how do you neatly get out of that? Because I have found myself in those situations where I'm like, oh, this is not where I want to be. How do you neatly, kindly remove yourself from that situation?
Well, I think that's the whole thing, is you can do it in the break of a conversation. You can do it not in a break of a conversation. I don't think it's rude if you do a head nod, smile, and then just walk away. I don't. Because here's the reason why. I was never going to impact that person in that conversation. We weren't aligned. And that's not a bad thing. And maybe we can strike up a conversation later at the event or in the future, and maybe it is something of alignment. But if I'm at a networking event, or if I'm at a charity event, or if I'm at an event where I want to meet certain people, or I have an expectation of my time and my energy spend on that event, and I'm not getting it, then what am I doing? I'm people pleasing someone who I don't want a relationship with or don't want to engage with at that moment. That's actually a better way to say it, because I don't know if I want a relationship with them. I just met them. But I'm not going to waste my time, and most importantly, my energy, to engage with someone that we're not aligned with, or on a topic that I have zero interest in.
I feel that way too about which I think we've touched upon this before, when like, be careful about the people who you tell your dreams to, right? Because if you're not aligned in that energy of like hyping me up when I'm telling you, like, wait, here are the things that I'm like dreaming of doing, or here are the things that like I'm doing now that maybe feel so big to somebody else, and unachievable. I just don't want to hear that it's unachievable, or I don't want to hear that I'm stupid, or that it's a stupid idea. Right. You have to sort of protect your energy around that too. It's sort of that similar thing where you start to like, especially even around family members. I hate to say it, but like a lot of times our family members are the dream killers. So when you're not in alignment with somebody in just your ideas, your energy, that could totally kill the whole mood too, especially when you're trying to connect with other people. Maybe you're, like you said, a networking event or an event. That just kills your whole like mojo, kind of just that energy towards what your intention was for the event. So I completely understand what you're saying. I just have the hardest time getting out of those. I don't know that I could just smile and walk away.
I think
I don't know.
That's the practice, right? Like that's the lesson. Is it's actually, I believe now that it's actually rude to stay in the conversation. It's actually to a level of, and I would love to argue this if anybody disagrees. And when I say argue, I mean appropriately talk through your opinion and my opinion, in a polite manner, of course, and respectful manner. But I would almost argue that it's actually rude to engage in the conversation, because what you're doing is you're creating false hope. You're creating false alignment, and you're playing a game that's not true to who you are, right? And I'll give you an example of a situation that just happened to me recently. I'm at an event. There's multiple men at the event that I want to connect with. And someone had approached me and said, oh, where are you from? And cool, right? Like we can go through the Ford method, and Ford method is what we teach in the impact effect community: family, occupation, recreational, and dreams. The training that I do is called Focus on the D, dreams.
Dreams. That's
Not
amazing.
that may come to your mind, but so in all of that, he's like, "Oh, where are you from?" And we start that Ford method of conversation, right? And I say Boston, and then it turns into, "Oh, sports this, and what do you think of the Celtics this year?" And this, I haven't watched a game in years, and it's not because I don't not like sports. I love sports. I it's not a focus right now. Like I don't want to, and when I want to talk about Boston sports, because we won so much stuff growing up in my 20s, and Boston title town, and the Celtics and the Red Sox and the Patriots, and right, like all these things, like awesome. I experienced it. I went to the playoff games. I bought the crazy tickets. I don't want to talk about that stuff right now. Like unless you're the buddy I went with and we can reminisce on an experience together, let's talk about those days. But like I could really care less about what happened 11 years ago to the Red Sox in this moment of time. Right?
So to you, that's like a low-hanging fruit for conversation, right? Like sports and weather.
Vibration.
Right. Low vibe. Okay.
No energy, steals it from me. A conversation around sports, I'm not even listening after 7 seconds, even though it's about Boston, even though it's about title town, even though it's about Tom Brady. And I used to work with the Patriots, and I've met him, and I've parked his car in valet, and I've been to his house. Like that's all great. But that doesn't excite me, nor gives me energy in a business event that I'm trying to network with an intimate group of people with a limited amount of time. So I don't want to waste my time and energy talking about something that doesn't interest me. And I used to play the game and not show up authentically, right? Like, and it started to happen in this conversation. He's like, "Oh, well, what do you think about this person and this?" And I'm like, and I thought to myself, I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to straight up lie. I don't even fucking know who you're talking about. But because I don't want to get embarrassed, I'm going to act like I know the sports player you're talking about. And I'm going to limp through the conversation, which is painful and not authentic. And I really have nothing to contribute of value in this dialogue because I actually don't even know the player you're talking about because I don't really follow sports right now.
Okay, so 2 questions. One is, do you ever try to take control of the conversation and flip it to something else that does align with you?
Great
And then
question.
number 2, before you go into a networking event, when you're sitting in your car, do you set an intention before walking in so that that energy is magnetized to you? Like you attract that energy as opposed to the conversation you don't want.
2 fire questions this morning, producer Rachel. Come on with it. Let's go. Look at those questions. You get me jazzed up. I don't know if it's the coffee or where I'm at.
Probably the coffee.
I know. I believe you have to set an intention when you go into an event, when you go provide your time to something that you're not entirely sure about what the experience could be. Right. So when you go to a networking event, you don't, in most cases, you don't know who's going to be in the room. And there's always a wild card. So if you're not setting an intention, then you're drifting through that experience. And here's the easiest intention. And this is the intention every single event Jim Morris goes to. It's the same intention for me. How can I meet 2 people that I want to be friends with? That's it. That's my intention every single event. Just 2 people. 3 is too many for me, which I found. 3 puts me in a position where I feel like I need to rush or navigate to hit a number or a goal. And quite honestly, there's been so many times where I think I've wanted to create 2 relationships and I spent 2 hours or an hour and a half or the whole event talking to one person because of the level of alignment and interest. So I am a quality over quantity person. I used to not be like that because people excite me and deep human connection is my jam, but I can't get deep with people. And I'm actually giving up a great opportunity to dive deep with one person if I'm trying to seek quantity over quality. So 2 I found is the best option for Jim Morris and his approach. It also doesn't give me anxiety. I'm also an extrovert and I love this shit. So maybe your number's 1, right? Seriously, like, and I think 1 is a great goal too. I think when you try to put, I'm going to go in there and get 5 prospects and 5 clients and 5 friends, dude, that's freaking exhausting just saying it right now.
Yeah, it's exhausting and I think an unrealistic goal, because generally the events aren't that long, and to really connect with somebody, you're not going to be able to spend the time trying to get, well, prospecting, just going in. That word is just icky to me. So just to connect with more than one, I think can be tough. I have gone to events though where I have researched who else will be there and have known specifically, I want to literally reach out to this person. I want to at least connect to this one person while I'm there. The issue that I have with that sometimes is that then I'm missing out on other opportunities that I could be connecting to somebody that maybe would have surprised me greater than the person that I wanted to touch base with. But I do think sometimes it's good to have an idea of like, oh, okay, I'd love to connect with this person. And as long as it's human connection based and not like I want to sell this person, I just feel like that energy walking in is totally different. That's why I love that you teach human connection inside of the community, because I don't think a lot of people understand that it's really all about that connection first before you even plan on selling to anybody. I love all of this.
It's I think you can have an intention and down to the specific person. And I think that that's one of the smartest things and one of the biggest hacks for someone who wants to prepare to feel comfortable in the social setting. So for instance,
I need that. I need that because I'm not an extrovert until I know you. Does that make sense? So
100% makes sense. And I think it's very strategic and very smart, because for me, strategy is my top strength. Routines come with strategy. The work before the work comes with strategy for me, for Jim Morris, right? I can only speak upon myself, but that actually allows comfort for me. And I think it also brokers an opportunity to build the relationship with the host or the moderator or the person that's putting it on. And by you reaching out and asking, like, because people that do this to me, I throw a ton of events, and I own an event company previously. So I'm like, oh, this person gives a shit. This person prepares. That's a level of alignment with me as the host and you as an attendee and guest, which we may never even have spoken prior in some instances, right? You have a 350 person conference. You may not catch everybody when you call them. I am the crazy guy that calls everybody who comes to my event before to make sure there's alignment, but people don't pick up the phone, right? And I can't commit to chasing you down. That wasn't what I sold you. It was what I want to provide. So anyways, great question. Your first question, what was the first question you had asked?
So do you not try to take control of the conversation? So say you get sucked into a sports conversation, you don't want to be a part of it. Instead of smiling and just walking away, do you try to flip that conversation so that it is more aligned with what your goal is?
Yeah, I think that's the first attempt. And I think that's a great point. When that person was talking about Boston sports, we were outside and a bird flew by, and I was like, "Oh, did you see that bird?" It was like, "No, what do you think of Tatum and this?" And it went right back to it, right? So like that was kind of an out for me. I think it really just depends on, do I think this is is this giving me energy? Like, I don't think that person was going to go to where I wanted to go in that conversation. But I think attempting to change the subject would be the first step. The second step would be real. And here's the thing. I'm not like super genius Jim. Like when he started talking about it, it wasn't like the sports meter just went off. I got to run away from this guy. He said sports. This isn't anything I want to do. Like that's not how I acted. And my brain didn't pick up on it as quick. So like, as we're talking about it and I'm starting to broker different topics and we keep going back to sports, I'm like, this ain't it. This ain't it.
So you just knew, you felt the energy that it wasn't going that way. I get it. So we try to flip it first nicely. And then if they're not on board, we run away. No. We nicely walk away.
The key is to not have guilt around that, because that you're just not treating yourself appropriately if that's the case. Like, you weren't going to be able to contribute at the level that you want to show up for people. And I know that, right? I want to contribute. I want to show up. Is it somewhat selfish? Yes, because I get a great feeling when I show up. But it's also for the greater good and positive impact of the person I'm connecting with as well.
So if anybody wants more information about communicating, honestly, go to in the Impact Effect community, because Jim teaches all of this and we learn so many different things. I love not having the guilt around it. So I think today's challenge is, if you're in that situation where you're just like, I don't want to be in this conversation, don't have guilt around leaving it. Don't have guilt around trying to get out of the conversation, because if it doesn't make you feel good, and like, who wants that vibration to continue, right? It's just bringing you down here when you're here. If somebody's not meeting your energy in the conversation, or you're just feeling icky, it's okay. Don't have guilt around leaving the conversation. If something is low energy for you, that's okay to protect your energy. You don't have to get sucked into their drama. That happens a lot at work too. When you have coworkers talking smack about other people and you're just like, I don't want to get sucked into this. Oh my God. It's okay to leave that conversation. Don't have guilt around it. I feel like that's the one and only thing for today's challenge, honestly. It's just, don't have guilt around leaving low vibration conversations that just aren't meant for you. Because why should you come down here? Let people meet you up here. Don't bring your energy down here. 100%. Yay, that's a good Wednesday. Like,
all
that.
right,
Super
everybody.
easy.
Yeah, we'll see y'all in May next time.
Oh no, tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.